Well, good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us on KREM 2 News at 5 o'clock. I'm Tom Sherry.
And I'm Whitney Ward. Mark is off tonight. Just into our newsroom, former Spokane City Administrator Johnny Perkins has now officially resigned from his position.
So a press release from the city says a human resources investigation found evidence that Perkins violated the city's sexual harassment policy. Just minutes before the release, Perkins' attorneys sent KREM 2 News a separate letter, also to Mayor Nadine Woodward, giving his resignation, citing health concerns, including a recently diagnosed heart condition.
Woodward says she will address the situation further tomorrow. Perkins had been already placed on administrative leave back in June for allegations of misconduct. So we know this is a developing story. We'll continue to bring you updates as we have them.
Also, just into our newsroom this evening, we have learned that the Spokane Police Department has nearly completed testing now on all of their backlogged sexual assault test kits.
Over the last 2 years, Spokane police have been working their way through more than 1,400 rape kits, some dating all the way back to 1984. And through that testing process, detectives say they were able to identify nearly 300 DNA matches, a criminal defendant, 4 criminal defendants, and 1 homicide suspect, all the way in California. And according to SPD, they only have 154 cases that are awaiting resolution.
Another major win for the program and the police department was their ability to bring a new level of closure to some of the victims. There are only 23 remaining kits now that need to be tested.
Former Idaho lawmaker Aaron Von Ellinger has now filed an appeal regarding his rape conviction. It was filed just yesterday in district court, and according to court documents, his attorneys say the state failed to prove that the rape even occurred beyond a reasonable doubt, and the evidence submitted by the state, they said, was only hearsay.
So they are asking for his conviction now to be vacated. Von Ellinger was convicted last year of raping a former State House intern known only as Jane Doe. That rape happened in 2021, and he was sentenced to up to 20 years in prison.
In the meantime, police are now investigating after a 4-year-old said he was molested in a bathroom at Our Lady of Lourdes Church in downtown Spokane. A 65-year-old suspect is now facing first-degree child molestation charges.
KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk just received a statement from the Diocese of Spokane. He's also looking through court documents.
The Catholic Diocese of Spokane says the suspect arrested has no affiliation with the church. They say they're praying for this boy and his family. The 65-year-old was arrested within hours. Court documents show a 4-year-old boy was attending Vacation Bible School at Our Lady of Lourdes Church on the morning of June 30th. His mom took him to a bathroom in the basement of the church and waited outside. 15 minutes after leaving the restroom, the boy told his mom something happened. He said a man touched him inappropriately. Police were called to the church and immediately started looking at their security cameras. Court docs show they saw a man in his 60s walk down the stairs to the bathroom just after 7 a.m. He stayed there for nearly 2 hours until the boy went to use the bathroom. That man is then seen leaving right after the boy and his mom, according to court docs. Police identified the suspect as 65-year-old Lenny Luck. Officers say he matched the person seen on video and the description provided by the child. Officers found him within hours near the Ridpath Apartments and arrested him. Luck is a 5-time felon and was previously convicted of first-degree statutory rape and indecent liberties. Luck did not know the boy or his family. For this type of crime, police say suspects are not typically strangers. We checked with the department, and out of the 850 child molestation cases reported between 2017 and this year, 25, or 3% of suspects, were considered strangers. In a statement to KREM 2, the Catholic Diocese of Spokane said it is, quote, deeply saddened by the evil act that has occurred on the grounds of our cathedral. The offender has no affiliation with our church and has caused great harm to our community. We're grateful that the cathedral staff and law enforcement moved swiftly in reporting, identifying, and ultimately arresting the offender within hours. The cathedral continues to partner with law enforcement to monitor individuals on our grounds who do not intend to worship in an effort to keep our cathedral open and hospitable to God's people in downtown Spokane. Please join us in praying for all individuals and family members involved. Luck has pleaded not guilty to first-degree child molestation. His trial is expected to begin this September. If convicted, he could spend the rest of his life in prison. Reporting in downtown Spokane, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
Switching gears now, let's talk weather with Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo.
Yes, Jeremy, it sounds like it's going to just be a scorcher, even more so than last weekend was.
Which is kind of hard to believe if you think about it, but it is. It's one of those ones where the temperatures are on the rise and we're talking some serious heat in the days to come. 84 degrees right now. We're hitting our high temperatures kind of in the 5 and 6 o'clock hour lately. So yeah, it's still hot and going to stay hot for the rest of the evening. So sorry, Tom, I know you don't have air conditioning right now.
I don't.
Yeah, all right. Well, over the weekend, you're going to want to find some water because heat advisories are in effect across much of the inland Northwest for high temperatures reaching 95 to 105 degrees both Saturday and Sunday. Right now, we've got a couple of stray showers in the panhandle of North Idaho, but that winds up being about it. Overall, things look pretty calm, but watch when we zoom in. Most of those stay up in the mountains, some trying to make it out. Most of the moisture not reaching the ground once it moves out of the mountains. But here you go. For us here in Spokane, we are far from any chance of moisture here. 91 on Friday, 95 on Saturday, 98 on Sunday. The heat is here, the heat is on, and the heat lasts through the weekend. Everybody's going to watch their temperatures soar. Mid to upper 90s across much of the inland Northwest. Central Washington, Lewis and Clark Valley, you're facing the worst of it both Saturday and Sunday. So just find a way to cool down any way you can.
Wow. Well, we are keeping tabs on a possible strike among Spokane County's largest ambulance service provider.
KREM 2's Shannon Mowdy learned that union workers say they'll strike on July 22nd if a deal isn't reached by early next week. She is live now with why they say they're more resolved than ever to walk off the job. Shannon?
KREM 2 News has obtained documents from American Medical Response, including this memo that the company sent to AMR Spokane employees just today, which the Teamsters Union says has not only angered its members, but strengthened them to strike if a deal isn't reached. By late next week, many of Spokane's ambulance workers may not be there to answer the call.
We've already had a majority support from the membership.
For a strike?
Yes.
Larry Crutch with Teamsters Local 690 says that's from 3 strike votes so far, with more support for a union strike after 2 letters from American Medical Response this week. The first letter, dated July 11th, warned Teamsters its pickets outside AMR Spokane violated federal law.
The employer claimed that they are a health care provider, and that as such that we were in violation of the National Labor Relations Act, and they were threatening to sue us if we held another picket.
Global Medical Response, AMR's parent company, warned the union not to picket again, saying the act prohibits picketing at a healthcare institution without at least 10 days' notice.
Legal counsel gave us advice that we were on strong ground, that we were well within our rights to do what we had done.
But now Teamsters has given notice. They plan to strike July 22nd if a contract deal isn't reached. AMR Spokane, in turn, released this memo Thursday, warning employees if they walk out, the company may permanently replace them under federal law. The company also warned wages wouldn't be paid and wouldn't be eligible for unemployment or health insurance during the strike.
But we just feel that the memo is a scare tactic.
KREM 2 reached out to AMR. In a statement, a spokesperson says they're working with Teamsters to reach a middle ground, but have an obligation to prevent interruptions to ambulance services and have taken measures to make sure it doesn't happen. When pressed to elaborate on what those measures are, we were told AMR has a contingency plan in case of a strike. With one more strike vote to go, business agent Joe Kewen says their members are more fired up than ever and not backing down.
They want to see a deal. They want to see this thing come to a conclusion without going on strike. But at the end of the day, I think the majority has already spoken.
The Teamsters Union is holding its final strike vote at 7 o'clock tonight. A federal mediator is expected to meet with both sides starting Monday and Tuesday. We could know shortly after those meetings next week if the strike will happen. In Spokane, Shannon Mowdy, KREM 2 News.